It's Vlogmas Day 15, and today I have a very special feature. Quilting and giving go hand in hand, and many of us are already part of charitable quilting through our community, a cause we hold dear, our guilds, all sorts of avenues. Today I spotlight an organization that has collected and distributed nearly 40,000 blankets and quilts to kids in foster systems across the U.S., Canada, Mexico, and more. These children and young adults are in the system by no fault of their own, and they need all the extra love and support we can give. Following is an interview with Jessica Rudolph, sharing her story, mission, and how we can help. Hi, today I am speaking with Jessica Rudolph from My Very Own Blanket. It's an organization that brings comfort and care to foster children across the United States and elsewhere, I believe. But
Yep.
I'm just going to hand it over to Jessica. First of all, thank you so much for speaking with me. Hand it
You're
over to
welcome.
Jessica and let her tell you about her organization and their mission and their passion. Thank you so
Awesome.
much, Jessica.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks so much for having me. I founded My Very Own Blanket 25 years ago, and we handmade blankets and quilts for children and teens in foster care and in need. And infants to teenagers is who we work with. Unfortunately, they come right out of the womb and go right into foster care.
Mhm.
And so we work with all ages, and we also work with 18 to about 25 or so year olds. So those are the young adults who, when they emancipate out of the system and they are on their own, they need support as well, and they need extra help. So oftentimes we get big, beautiful quilts that fit beds, which are just amazing because these are young adults who are going into maybe their first time apartment or moving into a new home, that they can have someplace, or going to college. They get to go to college or university,
That's
and they
amazing.
get to have this beautiful, colorful quilt that they can put on their bed.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about what kind of impact does a personalized blanket have for one of these children?
So huge. It's a big impact. It's a big impact. Over 25 years, I've been able to see, the results of what we do. And at first I thought, oh, I'll just make one blanket and it'll be good. It'll go for to somebody. And it wasn't until I heard from the first set of caseworkers that they said, oh, this is so needed. You have no idea that these children really do come with nothing, or they don't
Mm,
have anything that they get to bring with them. And I said, okay, well, I have to do this again. And so the next year we started it, and the next year and the next year. So 25 years later, I've heard stories of the impact. And it's such a simple thing, whether it's somebody making who does not know how to sew, knit, or crochet, and
mhm.
they make a no-sew fleece blanket, which is what I like being able to be resourceful so that everyone can get involved.
Yes.
Students and corporate America men and, anybody can get involved. But, to have people's talents that know how to sew and quilt and crochet and knit, and to be able to share that talent with these children and individuals and teenagers who, when they come into foster care, they're now living a life of uncertainty. They
Mm,
don't know where they're going to live. They don't know what school they're going to go to. They don't know what's going to happen to them. But what they do know is that they know this blanket that's been given to them. And a unique thing about My Very Own Blanket is that we put a special tag on every quilt. And it says a special gift of love made just for you. And it says, in fact, I have some right here. Excuse
oh,
me.
yes.
So it says a special gift of love made just for you. And
Oh,
because it silently communicates love. Um, Again, when these kids come into care, oftentimes they'll feel like they've done something wrong.
mm,
And that's never the case. It's never their fault that they're in the system. Or worse, Amy, they feel that they're not lovable.
Oh,
I mean, it just breaks my heart
it
because they're being
does.
given away. They're being given away. So they feel
Mhm.
like, well, I must not be lovable because I'm being given away. And I said, no, that's why we work so hard to show this love. And the other thing is that the kids and teenagers who receive these quilts and these blankets, they get that they're handmade. They see and
Oh,
know. They understand. They somehow intuitively, I've watched it over and over again. They somehow intuitively know someone made this just for me.
mm,
And so but this says a special gift of love made just for you. So it says love you on top of each other. And then there's a heart that says this belongs to. That's where the kids and the teenagers will get to write their name in marker. So it's
oh yeah.
showing, see, it's showing ownership that it's mine, that I get to keep it. It also shows all the adults and the caseworkers who work with the kids that it's important you make sure that this blanket stays with them if or when you should ever have to move them to a new location.
Mm,
The next line with again another heart, again silently communicating
yeah.
more love, and they see that love, and it says handmade by. So the volunteer who made this gets to write their name in there. And then I went one step further and I said, my special note to you. So I want these kids to know they'll get to see someone's name and someone's special note praying for you, or you are so loved, or the world needs your smile. You be the best you can be. Just something that it's encouraging that will help lift them up every night and every day when we can't be there with them. Um, some other exciting news is throughout the years, we have been able to expand and grow, and we have our special tags now in French and in Spanish.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know. So we work, when you said we're across the US, we are. We work, but we're also up in Canada. And
Oh
so we have
yes.
Spanish. And then this last May, we just opened up in London, England, Dublin, Ireland, and Sydney, Australia.
Oh, that's
I know.
amazing. From
Yeah.
from a tiny idea.
A
From a
little,
tiny idea.
yeah. My little rocking chair.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and how did we get that way? Simple thought. I try and be very resourceful and focused and efficient and productive. And so people would say, I want to make a blanket. And I'll say, they'll contact me from anywhere. And I'll
Hmm.
say, great, just start making blankets, but don't send them to me. What
Right.
I want to do is I want to help you make your donation in your local county and your local children's services. And then that way you get to see, they get to see that, wow, this is really going to the right place. They get to
Oh,
meet the workers, they get to meet the people in the agencies. And I tell them, go one step further, ask them, what else can I do for you? They might say, we have a lot of teenage boys, or we have babies, or we have, help them out
hmm.
in any way that you can.
That was one of my big questions. I in over the years of charitable giving and helping in other organizations, I was going to ask if you have a a known, I mean, of course, asking the local chapters is absolutely paramount. But if you know that there's an underserved portion of your community where people can focus. I know that for years people are like teenage boys, teenage in any of the like giving trees and the things like that.
Yeah.
People are like teenage boys. They get
Yeah.
forgotten. They get forgotten, and it's a critical time for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
It is. It really is. It is. And they on our website we have a link that says delivering blankets. And so we
Okay.
encourage everyone to go to that link, scroll down to your state, your province, and click on that'll then open up all the children's services and agencies that we have worked with in before. But I also tell people too, I say, if you know somebody, if you know a foster family or a caseworker, or a, children's CASA advocate or guardian ad litem, we would be happy to work with them, so that we can serve all these children and teenagers who just they so much need to see and feel love during this time in their life.
And if people do know that, if people do have those connections, how can they connect with you? What's the best way for them to connect that information with you?
So just go to our website,
Hmm.
myveryownblanket.org, and it has all the information on there on how you can get involved, on how you can order the special tags. These special tags when you make your quilts. We'll send you the special tags and then you sew them on, and then you go to the delivering blankets link, and then you can deliver the blankets to your county. Um, but also the blankets I wanted to mention too is that not only are they going to help the children, but they'll help the foster families. So throughout the years, we've noticed that, we've gotten a lot of letters and emails that said, "Thank you so much for what you're doing." Because as a foster parent, when kids come into our home with one of your blankets, it makes that first night just that much easier and
Oh,
that much
yeah.
peaceful, because they're coming into someplace that's new. So the best case scenario that we can get the kids into care is into kinship care. That's with grandma and grandpa,
Hmm.
aunt or uncle or relative. Um, but that's not always possible. So when they have to
Right.
go into a foster home, then they don't know. They don't know what the house is going to look like. They don't know. They've been maybe told how many people live there, but they've never met them. So they have to go into this new place and find their fit. But the beautiful thing is that when they go in and they have one of our quilts, they can hang on to it and they have their fit. Um, and then the last case or the last group of people that the blankets make a difference for are the caseworkers. So they are always seen as a stranger to these
Yeah.
individuals, right? To the child, the teenager. But when a caseworker has one of our quilts or blankets to give to that child, it helps to break down that barrier of them being
Yeah.
seen as a stranger, and it helps to build trust and a relationship. So, who would have ever thought that all these different areas, it would have helped this blanket have such an impact on all these different groups, as well as the individual who made it, and to be able to share. I mean, as quilters and people who knit and crochet and sew, it's so good for our soul and we just love it. And
Yes.
sometimes, when I was at the Houston International Quilt Festival, that's why I want to raise awareness with this amazing group of talented people, because so often they say, "I have so much that I've made and I don't know what to do with it." And I say, don't stop. Don't stop
Right.
making
Right.
it. Just keep creating, because now you have a place to donate. And you can just get on myveryownblanket.org and donate in your local area.
In the local area, so much, so much is lost in shipping costs and things like that. So being able to donate in your area not only keeps it within your community and helps your own community, but it makes a way for me to do it where I may not be able to spend money on shipping costs, but I can drive across town and hand off a carload of, blankets to help people in my community. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And then go back home and keep sewing
And
again.
keep sewing, keep sewing, keep
Keep
knitting, keep
creating.
crocheting. And
Yeah.
I will link, of course, I will link all of the links for the website and all of the things that we've talked about in the description box below. I will also link to the page directly where you have the instructions for the tags, how to acquire them and attach them, and
Uh-huh.
also how to make a completely no sew fleece blanket
Mhm.
for and which is a great thing to do with children, with
Yeah.
people who maybe have limited mobility, things like that. And with groups of boys, there again, boys get
Senior, yeah,
forgotten. Seniors
yeah,
and boys and teenagers, nobody has
yep,
to, you don't have to worry about anybody getting hurt on a sewing machine because you're just cutting a fringe and tying knots.
yeah,
And I think what you're doing, Jessica, and how it started is amazing. And I want to say thank you from myself
yeah.
and from all the quilters and makers who might see this. And
Yep.
thank you so much for letting us know how we can help you and help other people.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Keep in touch. I hope to hear from lots and lots of new people from the YouTube. Let us know how you heard about us, and we will support you in your efforts and your talents locally to spread love where love is just really needed
Oh,
in your area.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Again, thank you to Jessica Rudolph for sharing her story and how we as quilters and makers can help support these amazing children and young adults. I am ever so grateful to have the chance and the platform to share this opportunity with our community. All the information about the roots and mission of myveryownblanket.org, how to donate quilts and or money, how to get the special labels, everything. It's all linked in the description box and in a pinned comment below. As you consider your charitable making now and in the future, I hope you add myveryownblanket.org to your list, and I hope you never forget that you make the world more beautiful just by being in it. I'm Amy, and I'll see you next time.